Amen. How many you need for a word on today?
Amen.
Man, we don't need something that's going to keep us just to tomorrow. We don't need something that's going to keep us to next week. But we need something that's going to keep us until he say, well done. Amen, thou good and faithful servant.
Yes.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen. There is a word from God on today. Amen. The CDC, which stands for, I think, the Center of Disease and Control, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
Remember how many know that there's a disease out here that nobody's talking about on TV. And man, it's been killing people for long as I can remember. It's killed more people than cancer, AIDS, diabetes, whatever it may be. And it's called sin. It's still killing people. No matter how young, how old, how skinny, how small, how skinny or how fat. It's a disease. And it's killing people. And man, not only that, but it can affect you. It can affect everything about you. We talk about on this book. Remember, there is a word, amen, 1 Corinthians, the 5th chapter, the 9th through the 13th verse. When you have it, please say amen. 1 Corinthians, the 5th chapter, the 9th through the 13th verse. Amen, and one of CDC guidelines is to be socially distanced from your neighbor. It says stand at least 6 feet apart from each other. Man, why? Because if I stand 6 feet from Elder Gaskin, I'm going to protect her from anything that I have. If she stays 6 feet from me, she's going to protect me from anything that she has. But everybody ain't following CDC guidelines. And everybody ain't following God's guidelines. Because I found out that the word Bible means B-I-B-L-E. Basic instructions before leaving earth. Man didn't come up with this Bible, but God gave us our basic guidelines to get from earth to glory. It's up to you to be socially distanced on this earth to prevent you from getting coronavirus. And it's up to you to keep yourself from getting that infectious disease called sin. Y'all just bear with me. Amen, because this coronavirus is, hallelujah, helping people to see who they really are. It's helping you to take inventory of your own life. I said, ain't all right. Y'all, I'm going to try not to go turbo, y'all. I'm going to try to take my time. But sometimes the word just gets so good. Man, he's an on-time God. 1 Corinthians, the 5th chapter, starting at verse 9, and it reads, I wrote unto you in an epistle not to company with fornicators. I wrote unto you in an epistle not to company with fornicators. In other words, he said, don't let your company of the folk hang around you be fornicators. Y'all, I'm going to break this down for you. Don't worry about it. Yeah, not all together with fornicators. Yeah, fornicators ain't the only thing I ain't told you to keep company with. But Paul said, or with the covetous, the extortioners, the idolaters, for them must needs go out of the world. But now I have written unto you to keep company, not to keep company. If any man is called a brother to be a fornicator, or covetous, I think I pronounced it right, or an idolater, or a railer, or a drunkard, or an extortioner, which such and one know not to eat. For what I have to do to judge them also that are without, do not ye judge them that are within, but them that are without, God judges. So in other words, Paul is saying, the ones outside in the world, the sinners, God come take care of them. Therefore, put away from Sunday was, will you be ready? The word for you on today is, are you maintaining your social distance? And you don't need to turn to your neighbor. You need to ask yourself, am I maintaining my social distance? All right, so preacher, how do we get to this? So in the beginning of this 5th chapter, Paul said he heard something that was going on. He heard that there was some fornication amongst the people. In other words, he was telling the church of Corinth, I found out there was committed some fornication among the church folks. I said, ain't all right. Not only that, but the fornication, the sin that was going on, it says, that one should have his father's wife. In other words, there was somebody having sexual intercourse with a father's wife. In other words, with a mother or stepmother. Yeah, that's what was going on. In other words, there was some incest going on within the church. Yeah, I know y'all heard it talks about little leaven, the whole lump. But we gonna touch that right now. I said, is it all right? So that is the issue that was going on that Paul wanted to address the church about it. Not only that, Paul starts off and said, now, didn't I tell you in a letter before this one about keeping your social distance? Yeah, that's what Paul is saying to the people. Didn't I tell you in a letter before this, even before I heard what was going on, didn't I tell you to keep your social distance? I said, ain't all right. So what did Paul tell them that they don't need to keep company with? Paul says, someone that's a fornicator. Yeah, in case you don't know, I'm going to break it down for you. Someone who has sexual intercourse outside of marriage. Hold on, y'all. Let me tell you something. The people outside the church, the sinners, that don't say they saved. This ain't who Paul talking to right now. Paul is telling us, don't you accompany yourself, minister cowards. Good God Almighty. To somebody that say they are saved, sanctified, Holy Ghost filled, and live with a burning fire. And living and indulging in a world of sin. And don't have no remorse about what they doing. Paul said that's what's going on in the church. That's what Paul is saying. So Paul goes on and say now, the reason why Paul has an issue with this is because the church is panicking. Oh, it's all right, Elder John. Yeah, we know you made a mistake. It's all right, John. Yeah, he done committed adultery 4 or 5 times. And we still telling John, it's all right. See, what the church of Corinth was doing, they were minimizing the sin. That's what they was doing. So Paul, when he goes back and says about little leaven to hold up, in other words, hallelujah, what Elder John is going to affect the entire church. Yeah, he up there preaching. Hallelujah. He up there laying hands on people, but he ain't got control of that sin. So Paul said we need to address this problem. Why do it's going to spread like wildfire? See, that's why Paul is telling me, see, that's the kind of company I don't need. I said, all right. Yeah, I'm talking to the folks that say they got a relationship with God. Hallelujah. So he said, don't company yourselves with the fornicator. Don't company yourself with the covetous person. In other words, lovers of money. Hallelujah. Don't. Hallelujah. Company yourself with extortioners. Hallelujah. Someone who overcharges. I guess that's a crime that they don't even worry about these days. They don't even worry about it. You go get a state inspection, you need a headlight. They charge you $50, but you can go to the best auto parts and get them for $4. They're extortioners. Overcharging you for the product. idolaters. Yeah, somebody that worship Allah. Somebody that worship Buddha. Don't compare yourself with those people. Maintain your social distance. Yeah, but see, in this case of maintaining your social distance, good God Almighty, you're protecting yourself. See, I found out, see, this, if I'm holy, I can't rub holiness off on her. Amen. Good God. If I'm holy, holiness can't rub off on her. If she is sinful living in a world of sin, it can affect me. God, are you maintaining your social distance? Don't compare yourself with revelers, anyone, people with harsh language or abusive language, blasphemers. Don't compare yourself with drunkards, somebody who drinks, somebody that's always drunk, but they saved and sanctified. I don't care who you are. You can be the highest bishop in the world. It ain't no way the Spirit of God will sit on you 24/7 and you just speaking in tongues. Amen. Something ain't right, y'all. Amen. Hallelujah. Maintain your social distance. Amen. That's what Paul is saying. As I begin to do some studying, as I begin to dig a little deeper, as Paul talks about in the beginning of this chapter. So what do we do? It don't mean that the church, y'all listen to me now. Hallelujah. If John is really truly saved, if he falls, he gets back up. But he shouldn't have to do that same sin 50 times, day in and day out. Y'all heard me say before, yeah, David was a liar, he was a murderer. But one thing David didn't do, David didn't sin repeated over the same thing over and over again. But Paul is saying we need to distance ourselves from people like, this is an example, everybody, people like John is committing adultery on his wife every weekend. I got to distance myself from him. So Paul said the church should address this situation. See, this is why people say the church is too harsh. So in other words, John is a preacher. So John needs to be sat down from his duties. Why? Because Sister Monica here, that ain't really got it all together. She knows what John is doing. And John continued to, if the church allowed John to continue to preach, it's going to affect Sister Monica. Not only is it going to affect her, it's going to hit Sister Ted, Brother Spencer, Brother Tom, Sister C. It's just going to spread around the church. So therefore what happens, God will remove his candlestick. He'll remove his spirit out of the church. I said, ain't all right. Are you maintaining your social distance? So John truly got that relationship with Christ. After the church addresses that issue, he starts to feel remorse. He starts to feel bad about the things that he has done. I said, ain't all right. So therefore God takes him to the woodshed. God tears him up. God puts something on. Ain't it something, y'all? I know when I used to get beat coming up, I had webs all on my leg. But ain't it amazing how God can put something on you and there ain't no evidence? Amen. Amen. You can't call along on God and say he'll abuse you. So what we must do as a church, once he gets his whipping, once God takes care of him, then we lovingly wipe him back on in. That's what the church, that's what we're supposed to do. Now when God comes back, God is going to judge the church first. Now y'all know if we're going to barely make it into heaven, what do you think about the folks out there that ain't got a relationship? Hallelujah. I said it ain't all right. Yeah, Paul sounded kind of harsh. Hallelujah. Back in the days, y'all know they'll put you out. If they found out Deaconess Spring was messing around with her husband, they want to kick her out of the church. That's what they would have done. Kick her out of the church. But folks will say today, oh, why that church so wrong? But according to the word, they had a right to put out even now John was trying to get himself right. If any feeling remorse, it's time to John, he needs to go. Why? Because he's an affection. So therefore, he needs to go quarantine himself somewhere. But now you need to go quarantine yourself somewhere else. Maintaining your social distance. Now, when it comes to the world, everybody you work with ain't saved. Everybody in your family ain't saved. God is not telling you to distance yourself from the world. Don't catch this now. Because if God will tell you to distance yourself from the world, how's your light going to shine in the world?
All right now.
But what God is telling us, that person that's saying they ain't saved, sanctified, the Holy Ghost filled. Good God. He's saying distance yourself from them. And they living in a world of sin. Hallelujah. Paul said, don't cover yourself with them. Hallelujah. But after Elder John gets it right, after God done put something on him, over here in 2 Corinthians, the 2nd chapter, and the 4th through the 8th verse, it says, for out of much affliction and anguish of heart I wrote unto you with many tears, not that ye should be grieved, but that ye might know the love which I have more abundantly unto you. But if any have caused grief, he hath not grieved me, but in part that I may overcharge you all. Sufficient such a man is this punishment which was inflicted of many. So that contrariwise ye ought to rather forgive him and comfort him, lest perhaps such one should be swallowed up with overmuch sorrow. Wherefore I beseech you that you will confirm your love toward him. This is what the church is supposed to do to the saint when the saint fall. I'm supposed to encourage Elder John. I said, ain't all right. Don't talk about him, but encourage him. Hallelujah. I said, ain't all right. But our problem is, Sister Tina been my friend for 15 years. She's been my friend for 15 years, dog. She's good with my family. She's good with everybody. I just can't tell her that she can't be messing around with her. I just can't tell her that. Why? Because she's been my friend for 15 years. What I'm about to say is real deep. If I'm a child of God, if I'm a man of God, and I love Elder John, I should pat him on the back and say everything's going to be all right. I should be able to call out his sin out of love to him. Amen. So that's why Paul was talking about don't be judged from within. I'm not judging Elder John. But what I'm bringing to a teaching that the sin that he's doing, that's not judging that person. That's not judging him, telling him. That's not judging him. That's judging the sin that he was doing. If I love him, I'm giving him love by